Hello, guys. It is Ben here from NGB, and it's a very special recording tonight because we have got, for the first time in a while,
A long time.
Yeah. Mr. Asim Tanvir is back. He is the co-joint editor-in-chief, whatever you want to call it. So we're now running the ship together, and this is his first bit of content. How you feeling, Asim? Is it good to be back?
It's good to be back. It's good to be back doing more NGB stuff again. I've kind of missed it actually, being part of the team again and working with you guys and talking games because being in the industry sometimes you're a bit restricted about what you can and can't talk about. So Sunny is not his head.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean.
So it's good to be back, kind of just talking games again. And it's like, talking about games I enjoy and don't enjoy. I guess, the good, the bad, the ugly. Happy to be back and starting with this Game of the Year content.
Absolutely.
So let's get straight into it. I mean, we've got from the latest PS5, Sunny Sanghera over there at the bottom somewhere. Maybe on the sides. We don't know yet. But yeah, Sunny, how you doing?
I'm doing good. And can I just say, I feel very privileged and humbled to be a part of your comeback, the return. You're like Christian Bale in The Dark Knight Rises. You've climbed the cave. You've made it back to Gotham. You're back, baby.
I'll take that.
I mean, we've got a Batman reference. I was half expecting a Ronaldo reference, if I'm honest.
That's coming.
That will come later. Absolutely no doubt. But yeah, we're here to talk about Game of the Year. We'll give you the shout outs to like the latest PS5 a bit later on in the show while we're finishing up, so everyone can know where they can listen to you talk PS5 and gaming stuff as well. But right now you're here with us to talk Game of the Year 2021. It's been a good year for gaming. It's been a good year for gaming, especially
for everything else.
Good year for everything else. But let's talk about gaming. It's been a good year for gaming. Lots of good stuff, some not so good stuff, but also I think most of all, I think I've had a lot of fun with what's been released. It started off kind of slow with a couple of releases in the year, but it's kind of like picked up steam as you go through like kind of June, which is not a slow period anymore, and then like got busier towards the end of the year with some big hitters. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through our top 5, but we're going to kind of split it up with certain categories that we have. So we have top 5, we have best surprise, most disappointing, I'm looking forward to that one, best old game, best looking game, and also the most anticipated game. So this is most likely that something is coming out next year. So just
these are our personal top 5s as well. This isn't indicative of the website's one.
Yes, so, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
we've done a poll among all the writers and the contributors. Contributors. That's the word I'm looking for. We've done a poll amongst all of us. We've had a discussion and we've nailed down the site's top 10. But this is mine and Asim's personal top 5s.
Top 5, and also obviously Sunny as well.
Mine's paid for by NGB.
I don't know who approved that budget.
I'm joking.
I mean, I wish we could. Maybe we get to that point soon. Let's see. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Sunny, we'll start with you, seeing as you're the guest. Top 5. Your number 5 in terms of game of the year for 2021. What's your pick? And why?
This might be controversial for a few people, but again, before we go through these lists, people just need to remember that there's no right or wrong answer in our top 5s. It's about video games. It's what you personally enjoy at the time. It might be an independent. It might be an 8-bit. It might be a full AAA. So just take that into account. So my number 5 is Call of Duty Vanguard. And the reason why is I played one mode on it, and that's just a campaign. I do that every year. I don't really touch the multiplayer much anymore, but the one thing that's always consistent with Call of Duty is its campaign mode. It plays well from a technical standpoint. It always looks great. It sounds amazing. But this year, Call of Duty Vanguard had everything firing. There wasn't an area in that campaign mode that was weak or the weakest, and the weakest was one of the strongest, which was still... So to have a Call of Duty Vanguard campaign that looked stunning, sounded amazing, but actually had a story that had great pacing to it. And what Call of Duty should be is just set piece after set piece is great. But what really stood out and really put it in number 5, and me and Asim spoke about this when it first came out, was there's a character in there called Lady Nightingale, and she's got different pacing in her missions, and it's all about stealth. And whoever came up with the idea to allow her to crouch and move quick what a feature, because it made the game run smooth. The level is amazing. If you've played Metal Gear, it's a throwback to Shadow Moses and not trying to be seen by anybody. It's a great game, stunning campaign, highly recommend it. So my number 5 is Call of Duty Vanguard from Sledgehammer Games.
That is a good pick. I mean, I played through the campaign as well, and I agree. It's probably the best Call of Duty campaign for like a good few years. The campaigns are usually pretty decent. But I think this, in terms of like the pacing and the way you switch up with the characters, is very, very good. Like you get a different perspective from all the characters. Like some are kind of like more actiony, and as you mentioned, Lady Nightingale stuff is really, really good. Like it's really, really impressive, and like visually and like audio wise on the PS5, it's
oh, and
really,
just
really
a dual sense controller with those guns
it's
stunning. It's what the pad was made for.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben, have you played it?
I've not finished it yet. I was playing the campaign just before I went away on holiday. So yeah, I've been back a couple of weeks. I've not picked it back up, but it is on my list to finish potentially over Christmas.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed what I've played so far. Had a couple of weird like technical like hitches with it at the start. We put a video up of like the first 25 minutes, and there was a couple of instances where it just like completely froze, and I don't know if that was because the online side of it was having an issue and it was trying to check in or whatever. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, ran really well, looks great, sounds amazing, and yeah, I can't wait to get back into it and get it finished up.
Ben, you're lying. A AAA game to have issues during launch week? Really?
We'll come to that. Oh, we'll come to
that. Yeah, we'll come to that. But Ben, what's your 5th place for Game of the Year 2021?
So my number 5, and this just goes to show how cracking a year it was, is Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I mean, it looks amazing. It plays really well. The Rift mechanic is incredible, and it just kind of shows off why the PS5 has that SSD. Yeah. Obviously, the Series X has, Series S and X have them as well. But at the minute, we've not got any of those exclusive titles that are showing that off. But that was it was the first game really that kind of made me go, oh, this thing's quick. Like when you're in the area with the crystals and you like smash the crystal and it just immediately snaps you over to another place. I'm like, this is incredible. This is like some next level stuff. So yeah, really enjoyed the story. Really enjoyed like everything about it. Got the platinum in it, and it's just cracking game. Love it.
Yeah, I think I'd liken it to playing like a Disney animated movie. Essentially, that's what it is. Like
it's the same every time there's a new cartoony platform.
But it genuinely is this time. I think I feel like if you compare like a new Disney movie to Ratchet and Clank, the fidelity of like whether it's gameplay or cutscene, it's like this is what the power of these new consoles, like the PS3 and PS4 were like steps up, but this is a big step up from like what came previously. And Ratchet and Clank shows exactly what the PS5 is there for. As you mentioned, the SSD, like when you first going through the rifts and stuff, and it's like seamless. You're like, yeah, this is next gen. Like this is why this title could not be done on any other PlayStation platform. This is why it's PS5 exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw some people comparing it to, and here's the inevitable drop of the name. Some people compared it to Titanfall 2. The effect and cause mission where you've got the time travel-y thing. But I think that was very cleverly managed by Respawn. Like you couldn't do a full game like that because if it was all in tight corridors, it was all in small areas. But the way that they do it in Rift Apart is just phenomenal. Like the whole level just switches.
It's beautiful,
incredible game.
Sonny, you played it obviously.
yeah. I mean, just a few things, Ben. It is a fun platinum as well.
It is a fun platinum, yeah.
Even if you play the game without the focus to get the platinum, by the time you finish it, you've naturally got about 70% of the trophies anyway. Exactly, and it's just collecting and a few combat trophies left to get the platinum. But you're talking about the rifts. I love the fact that you could stand in the middle of the bonus level rifts, and you got 1 foot in one world, and you just turn the camera, you're in one world. You turn the camera in another, and there's no tear, there's no letdown or anything. But one thing I really loved about Ratchet, besides all the technical stuff, was the character engagement and the way they communicate. Rivet, what a character, you know what I mean? And visually stunning. And Insomniac have proven that they are to date the #1 PlayStation studio for PS5 because they just drop banger after banger, you know.
Yeah.
Just when you thought, okay, it's time to rest, they go and reveal 2 more, and you're like,
Two more.
okay.
Yeah, man, that moment when it was like at the was it no, it was the
Showcase.
Showcase.
Yeah, that was it, the showcase. Yeah, when it was just like, cool. Yeah, so Insomniac, we're now doing Spider-Man 2. Like, wait, what? How many people have you got working for you?
They've got a big team, yeah, and Wolverine now.
as well,
Yeah. So no, that's a really good pick. That's a really good pick. Yeah, my number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if both of you have played it yet. I know Ben's played a little bit, but Guardians of the Galaxy,
it's brilliant.
It's so good. Like, I mean, I like the words I gave to Ben for our kind of video were like, it's so well written. It's like the script is up there with like the movies, and in some parts like really like tops it in some parts, I think, as well. Like, it doesn't go down the Avengers route of like trying to be like the movies. It's doing its own thing, and I feel like it does that really, really well. And then on top of that, it looks amazing. Like, you know, I mean, I played it on PS5. I found like the textures, the worlds, like you go around and travel around, are superb. The audio, like the music and the soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. I think it's a big part of the game.
Don't play it in streamer mode.
Don't play it in streamer mode.
Don't play it in streamer mode.
I mean, I feel sorry for any streamers playing it who had to play it without the licensed soundtrack, because that is a huge part of the game. Like taking on a giant squid while you got playing, Take On Me playing is fucking amazing, and just taking it out. It's just superb. It's just superb. And like the gameplay, people might say it's kind of like quite, I've seen some people say it's quite repetitive, but actually it's super like fast paced and fun. Like the way you're only, in control of Star-Lord, but you can give orders to the other Guardians.
It's a bit Mass Effect-y in that respect.
Yeah, it's a bit Mass Effect. It's kind of, I kind of say Mass Effect light almost. And like like on that Mass Effect comparison, like you do make like some dialogue choices here and there that a few have an effect on how the story goes in some parts.
I mostly got the good ones. I mostly got the good ones.
I mostly got the good ones the first time as well. So it's another game that I enjoyed so much that I wanted to get the platinum for it. I was talking to Sunny about this because we talk platinum sometimes, and I was like, I finished the game. I was like 80% odd. I was like, might as well get the platinum. So kind of went through it again. It was super fun platinum to get as well. So yeah, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, superb. Like I think people will compare it to like other Marvel games, like Spider-Man obviously is obvious comparison, but I think it's kind of a bit different to Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is probably slightly better, obviously, but that came out last year. But in terms of like this year stuff, absolutely love Guardians of the Galaxy. So that takes my top 5.
Cool. Nice spread of games there for number 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Sonny, play it.
I will eventually. I'll get there.
You'll absolutely love Drax in it. Like, he is so fucking good.
He's got his little sarcasm for dummies book as well, which
hilarious.
Is brilliant.
If it's not Batista, I'm not with it. That's not really
no, trust me, it's so good, so good. But anyway, so that's all our top 5s. We'll go into one of the categories now. So this is an interesting one. And again, Sunny, we'll start with you on this. Best surprise of 2021. What would you go for?
It's a tricky one.
Don't say eFootball.
No, because as you mentioned earlier, you know what I mean? We knew what to expect with that in a way. It's a tricky one because there was quite a few surprises in there. And I think I wouldn't say it's a game. I would say it's more a feature, and that would be Deathloop's mission structure. Just because I haven't seen it in a video game before. I mean, yes, you can. I saw people comparing it to games like Mass Effect that you control the outcome you take, but just the way Deathloop's mission structure was set up, and the moment it clicks with you, because everybody, I was lost for the first like 2 hours. I was like, what? And then it clicked. And that was the biggest surprise about how much I enjoyed the structure once it clicked. And I was into it. And it's very rare for me to think about a game when I'm not playing it, especially about the mission structure. But I was looking at it thinking, how is the best way to do this? How's the best way to do that? And I was so surprised in myself that oh wow, you know, I'm really engaged in this game, and that's what video games are for. So my biggest surprise, without a doubt, the Deathloop mission structure.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Interesting one. Yeah, I mean, it was the same kind of thing. I think a few of us might talk about it when it comes to our top 5 again a bit later. But yeah, it was a surprise. Like there is a moment when it just clicks and you're like, aha. So this is how I should probably go about it. And then you're like, and then it just all opens up and you've got a world of possibilities in front of you to like how to tackle the game. So that's a good one.
And that feeling you get when you get two visionaries at the same time and you pull it off and you just and you're just like you're like, yes. It's just a surprise. I didn't think I would enjoy that so much as I did, and I was just like, wow, it's amazing. So without a doubt, you know, that mission structure.
Nice. Benjamin, over to you.
Yeah, I think for me it's Guardians, like just the game in general, like Guardians of the Galaxy, because as you mentioned, cracking game. Like I loved pretty much every minute that I had with it, and at the start of the year we didn't know it existed. Like
it's true. Yeah.
Like for it to be revealed at E3 and then come out a couple of months later and kind of have everyone sort of go, oh great, here we go, it's another one of these, and then like, oh no, this is actually brilliant. Like the surprise that it was there. I mean, I bought my copy shortly after launch. I think it dropped down in one of the sales, I think. So
about 30 quid. Yeah.
So I picked it up and I was just like, this is brilliant. Like, you know, it's that kind of stealth drop that I wish more companies would do at this point. You've just got like, oh hey, cool, we're revealing a game in June and it's out in October, so you can get really excited in like a couple of months, and as the hype builds you drop the pre-order and then bang, it's there. It's like, as opposed to this, I mean, I was looking at something earlier that said like Beyond Good and Evil 2 was revealed in 2017. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You know, like trust me, I can tell you that game is never coming out.
Oh no, I know.
Vaporware.
But that's the thing, like, you know, you have a game that's basically been done in the oven, ready. We'll reveal it, we'll push it out, off you go. And I think after the disappointment of Avengers, like that was exactly what that, you know.
Do you think that worked in its favor, like to be a surprise, like because Avengers obviously it was by a different developer, if I'm correct?
So it was a different studio,
Eidos Montreal, but Square Enix published it. But people probably thought, oh, another Square Enix published game is probably going to go down that route. And I think that helped.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I think that the fact that, like, in the run up to it, they were saying, like, you know, this isn't an online game. This is a purely single player game. You know, you're not going to have the grind that you have at the end. So people maybe got a little bit, maybe had their heads turned a little bit by that. But I'd be interested to see the sales numbers, because I don't think it probably did amazingly well, but Jesus, it's just a great game. And like,
I mean, it's won a few awards. It's won a few awards already.
I mean, as I say, like knowing at the start of the year not knowing at the start of the year that game was a thing, and then at the end of the year thinking, oh man, that was brilliant. Like, best surprise by a long way for me.
Yeah, no, good shout. My best surprise, before I'd say my actual best surprise, I think I want to say also, like, give a shout out to Call of Duty Vanguard as being the campaign being a surprise as well, because I just kind of expect it to be kind of run-of-the-mill decent Call of Duty campaign, but actually proper work put into the campaign. Like the visuals, as kind of Sunny mentioned, visually stunning, audio also fantastic, and just extremely fun to play, and like some really intense battles, etc. as well. So I give that a small shout out. But my actual surprise is It Takes Two, just because I mean, I expected a good game, but I didn't expect this good a game. And there's a reason why, you know, at the Game Awards it won Game of the Year, because it is genuinely, and I remember, I'll probably touch upon this a bit later as well because it's in my list somewhere, but I played it with Gary, who's part of NGB, and Sunny knows him as well, and that guy gets frustrated quite easily, but like playing it with him was absolutely superb.
But
he's an Arsenal fan, so frustration is a common thing, right? I have to bring it in, Gary. Sorry.
He'll love that. But no, like genuinely, it was just a ball. Like even the parts, there was some frustration, but that's part of the game. That's something that the game wants you to feel at that point. And it gets you working together. Yeah, I think I'll talk about it a bit more. But yeah, just because I didn't expect to be that good, it takes my best surprise pick.
Before you move on,
Yeah.
Ben, there was an update. The last sales update for Guardians was from Jason Schreier at Bloomberg, that it had just passed 4 million copies sold.
Okay, that's not bad.
A lot of that happened in price promotions and things
Yeah.
like that. But I mean, 4 million is nothing to scoff at, but we know what Square Enix is
Square
like.
Enix probably like 20 million.
Yeah, they're probably expected something like crazy, like God of War numbers, and they're like, no, we're not happy with 4 million. Hello?
4 million.
I mean, I think the thing is, like, 4 million for a game like that, after you've had something that's bombed as hard as the Avengers did, and then they sort of turn around and went, oh, it's Crystal Dynamics' fault because they don't know how to do games as service. It's like, no, it's your fault for doing the Avengers as a games as a service game,
shoving in this other stuff.
Yeah.
No,
anyway,
that's a good update. All right, let's go back to the top 5, and again, Sunny, will go to you for your number 4.
Well, we don't need to talk about this one as much because you just mentioned it, but my number 4 is It Takes Two.
Nice.
The fact that I haven't finished.
Wait, who do you play with?
No, the fact that I haven't finished it and it's in my top 5, that's how good it is. So I'm playing with my 8-year-old son.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
And he absolutely loves the game. And here's the thing, we're laughing while we're playing it. And that's what video games is supposed to do, evoke emotion. And I thought, because we played like Astro Bar and we did like, I watched him play Miles and things, and we did other games together. And I just thought to myself, Sackboy, for example. Yeah. And then I just thought, oh, okay, we'll play It Takes Two. Asim keeps telling me to play it, keep playing it. I thought, okay, go on, I'll play it. So I picked up the game as soon as it went into EA Play. And what a game. What a game. Just, there's not much to say. I mean, the story's super deep, but it's just the cooperative mechanics make that game so special. And even though I don't really rate the Game Awards, I was happy that that game won the GOTY. So I was really happy about that. And if you haven't played it, people, it's a co-op narrative, fun game. A game like that shouldn't sell. It's already closing in on 4 million sold. It's a massive game. It's available on EA Play. You can play it on EA Play. Just pick it up for a month and play it. I'm sure there's a free trial for EA Play anyway. So just do that. Yeah. What a game.
Yeah. I've not yet played it, but like the fact that it's on Game,
you got to play it with somebody.
That's the problem.
Find someone on the street, just like say, hey, you want to play this?
But from the sounds of it, if you want to enjoy it, don't play it with Gary.
I mean, no. If you want to enjoy it more, play it with Gary. I think it was superb. It was superb. Cool. That's a good number 4. Ben, we'll go to your pick number 4 now.
My number 4 is Forza Horizon 5. I mean, I played the ever-loving shit out of 4. Like, it was just phenomenal. And I love Forza. I love 5 to bits. Like, I think the reason that it's not higher for me, and this is a conversation that we've had, is it's Forza Horizon in Mexico. And it's like, it's kind of more of that. And that's why it's where it is, because like, that's not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. Like, it's a fantastic game. But when you look at some of the games that I put higher than it, I think there's more stuff that's new, or in one instance, it's just a special game for me. But like the rest of Forza is just, it's great. And like, you know, I think the way that they've done some of the progression stuff is a little bit different this time around. So like you kind of, within 10 minutes in playing the game, you can be in a Lamborghini and like smashing all the records. And it's like that, to me, that just feels a little bit odd. I like having that progression of older games. Like you start in a banger and then work your way up to a car that's actually got 4 doors and stuff like that. You know, that it's I think
that's a thing. I think that's a issue that happened because of Game Pass. You've got to attach the person to the game quickly. You know what I mean? And when you've got PC gamers, and that's the problem, Game Pass does eventually become quantity over quality, and you want to keep the people in Forza as long as you can, as fast as you can. And the problem with that is, as you mentioned, it's just the pacing. I know what you're talking about. Old school, you build up, you get the supercar, and you're like, yes, all that hard work
throws everything at you, doesn't it?
Yeah. And which is, some people is a good thing.
But I think within like 15-20 minutes, I was in a P1. I'm like, this is the best car ever. Like, I don't need to do anything else. But then you just like tool around and throw it off cliffs and stuff like that. It's like it's so much fun.
I do predominantly play on PlayStation.
Oh, really?
But I wanted a driving game. Gran Turismo's too far out, so I borrowed a Series X from a friend, and I played Forza Horizon 5. I played for about 10 hours, and I can just say the biggest thing that was missing from that game is the DualSense controller. I just imagined the surfaces of, that I'm flying over on that, because I played Dirt 5 when it launched, and it felt stunning on the pad, and I can't go back to a game now that doesn't have DualSense under that vehicle. You know what I mean?
It has the rumbles and the triggers, but it's not quite the same.
Exactly. We need that finesse.
Yeah,
we need that finesse. But
the only thing that lets Forza down for me is the the lobby system. When you go to play with a friend, it's kind of, I mean, I jumped on with Johnny a few weeks ago, and it was just a fucking mess. It took us about 15 minutes to get into a lobby with each other, and then at that point we had to try and find each other, and then we were like, oh, so you should be here, and he wasn't showing up on my map, so we had to disconnect from the lobby, reconnect, and then it just took ages to get to a point. But once we were in there, it was great fun. Just again dicking around the sand dunes.
But it's a good game, but it's a good game because it is.
Oh number four, but all day long.
I think technically it's obviously super impressive as well. Like, we've got to put that out there. Like, technically, I think that's probably the biggest step up from Forza Horizon 4. Technically, whether you're playing in quality or performance, it is an absolute looker. It looks stunning. It looks stunning. So good shout for number 4. My number 4 is something you already touched upon, is Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart. I spent more time in photo mode than playing it, I think.
I spend every game in photo mode. What are you on about? I open my PlayStation and it's just like, Asim Tanvir sent you a message.
Yeah, I'm just sending him stuff.
But they look amazing. The picture that game is stunning for photo mode. The reflections.
Yeah, like the ray tracing is incredible. Like, and obviously, like you touched upon it earlier, just super fun to play. You touched upon it. Like say Forza doesn't have the progression, and that's a strange comparison. But Ratchet and Clank, the progression from like start to finish, it has a sense of like satisfaction and reward to it, and it's not easy. It's not an easy game. Like, there are some tough parts to it, like towards the end.
That bloody arena.
Exactly that. So it's not like a kids game, so to speak. It does have a challenge to it. I mean, kids can play, of course, but it does have a challenging aspect to it. And it's just, again, kind of like Forza, it is a technical masterpiece on the PS5. Like, it's just run superbly. So, I mean, we said what we need to. Superb game. Yeah. Next category, which I'm really excited about, is most disappointing.
You need to go to Ben first. I need to build up.
I mean, I think you and Ben have the same one. If
I think mine's split between two, but I'm going to go with the one that isn't the one that you guys have got.
Okay, go for it.
Well, the one that Sonny's got, I'm guessing. So mine is 12 minutes.
Interesting. Yeah,
okay. I think I remember talking to you when this game was announced.
I was hyped about this as well. Yeah.
Like, when that game got announced, I just kind of saw it and went, this looks fucking incredible. Like, what the hell is this game? And like, as time went on, sort of, little bits dripped here and there about it. I was like, I need to play this game. It's going to be amazing. Like, I had no idea what it was going to be. Had no idea, like, about the story or anything. I was just like, I love the fact that this is set in some kind of time loop, and that's foreshadowing. There's like, we're set in a time loop, and it's like, you kind of go through this thing, you've got to figure out this puzzle, you've got to work it out before the 12 minutes is up, and then you have to reset yourself and go again. And for the first like hour or so, 2 hours maybe that you play in it, you're like, this is pretty good. Like, it's a bit of a murder mystery. It's kind of a not murder mystery, but it's like a mystery game. You've got to figure out what's happening. Like, you can do some fucked up shit in that game, like, to try and help figure out what's happening. And I know the game came in for a bit of stick on that side, but that's not the reason it's the disappointment for me. Like, the
hashtag spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
Because it's coming to PlayStation, I think, soon as well.
So it's already out. So Ben, you better be careful what you say, because it's on my wish list.
Have you not played it yet?
Not yet.
Oh man. So I'll dance around it, but the way that game ends in the last 50 In the last 15 or like probably the last half an hour or so of that, it undoes every single piece of goodwill that it does, like getting to that stage.
Yeah.
And if you kind of overlook the fact that it's a point and click, like I wasn't expecting that, but when I got it, I was like, okay, cool, I'll play it. Like I enjoy the odd point and click game. I'm happy for that. But then if you ignore the fact that there are some very contrived solutions to stuff that could have been done a lot easier, even if you look over all of those, the way that it all wraps up is just so fucking ridiculous that I just wish that they'd maybe spend a little bit more on a script writer than getting Daisy Ridley in.
Yeah. No, I played it as well, and while it doesn't make my most disappointing, I would have thought, because I was so excited about it when it was first revealed, I would have thought it would have made my top 10, but it doesn't even come close to making the top 10.
Yeah,
I think you're right. The payoff, and again, no spoilers, Sonny, that like the payoff after you do everything is very flat. There's nothing. Yeah, you're like, oh, okay, and it's kind of like, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, it didn't make me angry or anything. I was just like, oh, that's a bit shit, right?
Yeah, like the voice acting, like they spent obviously a lot of dollar on like getting Daisy Ridley, James McAvoy, Willem Dafoe as well, and they are good, like in terms of their voice acting, but I think some of the mechanics are also like, it's frustrating as well at parts. But I think ultimately, I think you're right. Like the payoff is not. Yeah, it just falls flat. I
mean, to give you an idea of how hyped I was for this game, I pre-installed it on Game Pass, and then I was like, the second that it ticked over to midnight, I was trying to launch it. I was like, come on, let me play it. And then I think it ended up going live at about 1 o'clock in the morning, so I got to bed at about like 2:30, and was extremely tired for work the following day. But that was easily my biggest disappointment. But I will cede the floor to Sunny and let him eviscerate his choice.
Oh no! I'm not even going to eviscerate. It doesn't deserve the energy. But I got 3 quick ones.
Go for it.
Alan Wake Remastered, only because it came out and it was compared to Heavy Rain. So and I missed it because obviously it came out at a time where there was so many AAAs on PS3 and stuff, and I just didn't get to Alan Wake. So when it finally came, I was really, really excited for it. It isn't Heavy Rain, I'll give you that. And I can understand why people would really love this game, but it just didn't age well. And obviously for me, my expectation going into it was so high. Watching the hype levels of people when it got announced and everything, I was like, oh man, this looks good. I want a narrative-driven game, linear narrative. It just felt like I was running in the same environment over and over and over and over again. And I was like, so I'm not saying it's a bad game. It was a disappointment because my hype level was high. Yeah, exactly. Because of all the past.
I can't imagine it's aged well. Yeah, so you're
right. Second is the Game Awards, which is not a game, but I mean, for somebody, obviously, we've been in the industry. It's a night to celebrate video games. It's a night to let the hair down, which is great. But this year just showed that even something that's a celebration of video games will be overtaken by advertisements. And it was...
I watched it live.
Oh my God, the pacing was off. The contradictions were so bad. I love Jeff Keighley, but don't talk about being together and inclusive and then showing a Quantic Dream trailer, you know what I mean? And having Tencent everywhere and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine. You're not understanding. And then it's pretty clear based on the award wins that sponsor the show, win an award sort of thing. There's some of them were justified, some of them, what the hell? And
these represent the views of Sunny Sanghera, not next week.
Yeah. And I was just really disappointed with the show overall. And obviously when you compare it to like the BAFTAs for video games and the DICE Awards and stuff, the caliber is up there. I think the only thing has... I was going to say, the only thing the Game Awards has that makes it interesting is the reveals, you know what I mean? And Joseph from Hazelight. He's
Joseph Harris.
Yeah, he's the entertainment.
He's a legend. He's a legend, man. He's a legend.
I mean, I think I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you in some of it, like with the the fact that it is so skewed towards the announcements. But I think part of it for me is that if you're doing those announcements like that, it's almost like Jeff Keighley's tried to get video games out into like a public space, and he's tried to do it for so long, and you get people that are like, you know, like TV networks probably go, oh, video games, no one cares about those. So he has to get the big reveals in. He has to do that to get more eyeballs on it. So maybe that maybe that reasoning flew a little bit more a couple of years ago, but now it's so big, it's so sort of all-consuming that I think it's kind of eating itself really, and he's sort of gone, right, well, we have to do the reveals now because that's what people expect from the show.
Yeah, it seems like it's more of a reveal show than an award show, which is you know, the example of that is like the way they rushed through some of the awards, just like one after the other. I still think they should give, even if it's best audio or whatever, they should give them their time on stage.
Absolutely.
You know,
and you've got to understand that if you know you're about to show something that's going to change the game. I mean, you look at the way Sony do it with, you know, they have a live orchestra because they know they're about to drop jaws with God of War. Ubisoft back in 2012 with Watch Dogs, you know, Microsoft with Cyberpunk. You make gravitas, theater around it. I think next year, tone down a little bit on the reveals and make them a bit like Quantic Dream should have gone on near to last. It went on first.
That was a big reveal. Yeah.
Hellblade. I could, when they opened with Hellblade, I was like, oh man, this is going to be an amazing show. It just went downhill on the reveal because you went so high with Hellblade off the bat, and I just thought that deserved somebody on stage to introduce it and go on instead of just quickly getting into the trailer and stuff. But anyway, I digress.
I mean, I think the thing is when you announced the console last year, or was it 2 years ago? Like, you know, 2019, 2019, when he did unveiled the Series X, that is a moment where, like you say, that's a game changer. That is like, holy shit, like they're getting a big thing here. And I can't remember if he closed the show with that or if it was
opened it.
Did it open it?
The Xbox Series opened that Game Awards because then it was followed by the PS5's first ever game, Godfall.
Yeah.
Okay. But
anyway, go on.
eFootball, yeah. I don't want to go too much into it because there's not much to go into because there's not much content there. But it's just more like once that first retarded 8-minute trailer launched, you know, there was a lot of questions. The writing started to come on the wall, but there was a small inkling that Konami they're gonna pull it out. They're gonna get it right. This is a great idea. It's gonna work. They'll get there. But I think the biggest disappointment wasn't the execution. The biggest disappointment was the communication, and then it was the delay, you know, to the next phase of the demo, and that's a big disappointment because the passion and the love was there. Whenever an ISS or a PES first made an introduction on a new generation, the hype level is there. And yes, we got hurt quite a lot over the years with PES, but we had hope, you know what I mean? 2-year development, probably longer than that. We thought, okay, come on, get a strong foundation and build up. I mean, the opportunity was there. You were the #1 free-to-play game on PlayStation. More people played you than Fortnite. More people played you than Genshin Impact the month you launched. And you didn't even chart in the American one for November. It's still in the European one at #2. So people are still playing this game. But the expectation on a basic level wasn't even met. And that's what hurt the most, you know. And we were just like, God damn it, Asim's right. Now I'm gonna have to listen to him. You know, tell me that. I mean, I told you.
We talked about it on a separate podcast on your PES supplement, Sunny, and I was, without being harsh, I was like quite realistic in terms of my view. I was like, we questioned, you know, are they gonna have a content plan? They like, we've seen it. They haven't. There's no roadmap now, essentially, really, apart from like, hey, we're spring. Is it spring? They've said basically now.
Yeah.
That the game will be there, but I don't even think like the game will be in a good place at that point. I think you're looking at probably more likely the holiday season. It's probably going to be in
the next season drop. Yeah, 2023.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not my most disappointing, basically because I knew, you know, I was quite confident that it was going to be in the state it was. Yeah.
Just to chime in on this, if anybody's watching, I fucking told you. I did the preview and I tried to tell you.
I just want to say
somebody else made a really good preview that made it sound all amazing with the best looking crowd that they've ever seen in a PES game.
Yeah. I just,
I got
and here's the
death
worst thing
threats
now.
from that shit. I got fucking death threats because I said this game might not be the savior that you want it to be, because other people said it was amazing. And
those people are retarded and
Yeah.
need a girlfriend. But I just got to say that with it being a consistent game now, I could be talking about this in the same category next year. Because we don't know what's going to happen now. So the spotlight is on you to make it work, and I really hope they do. They've got the time. They don't have to worry about development timelines to make another iteration of a game. It's the same game. Build on it, get it to work. Let's see. But I'll just go with the flow now. When it's out, I'll play.
I think the problem is, as you mentioned, like you get one chance to make a first impression. They made that. They got the download numbers, as you said, Sonny. They got people playing it, and now it's just like it's fallen flat. Like
imagine how we could be talking about it now when eFootball tops Genshin Impact and Fortnite and Final Fantasy 14, and you actually launched a banger. Can you imagine what eFootball would be right now? But it's not. You know what I mean?
They would have got a great head start on FIFA, because FIFA's going to go down this route eventually, and when they do, that's going to be.
Do you think
they're going to have
now,
the market share?
Do you think they will now? Because
at some point
they've seen how badly this has gone.
I mean, they can
do what they want now, because they can just turn around and say, well, our competition's crap, so we'll continue to charge 60 quid.
They could. I think it would probably, if FIFA was to do it, I think it would just be the Ultimate Team. That would be a smart move. Right?
Ultimate Team free to play, just rake in the money that way, and then obviously take that free to play market share from eFootball that's launched in a dreadful state.
But we'll move on from eFootball, otherwise this is going to be an hour.
It's going to be it's going to be like eFootball.
What's yours, Asim?
My most disappointing is Battlefield 2042, because it's been a shambles of a launch, essentially.
I told you. I told you.
Yeah. I mean, all the trailers before pre-release were looked amazing. Let's be honest. The way they showed it off, the way they marketed it was fantastic. That's not what it turned out to be. It's like playing in like an empty space. Even if you're playing with people, it just feels soulless, lifeless. It's not fun. Like the best part of it is the Portal part of it, which is the older Battlefields, not the new Battlefield, obviously. And yeah, I mean, I tried the beta. I was like, okay, it's the beta. I'll give it a chance when it comes out. And it was part of the trial as part of Game Pass and EA Play. Tried it there as well. I was like, nah, not doing it. Like I've, comparing it to something that also in beta, like Halo came out, works perfectly well, fun to play. While they've got issues with their battle pass, which they are sorting out actively, it's the core gameplay is fun to play. The gameplay loop multiplayer is fun to play. Battlefield is not that. It's not that. And they said their ethos was to go back to the core Battlefield. This is not Battlefield. This is like a weird amalgamation of them trying to be Warzone plus still keep some, little bit of Battlefield in there. No.
And can I just say, as obviously anyone who's listening, a shout out to MiHoYo, the developers of Genshin Impact, because that's one of the few games that comes out and just hits the ground running right from the bat. These games, they never really hit the ground running the way this game has. You know what I mean? Apex is another one that hit the ground running. But I mean, you look at all these games, you look at the budget behind Battlefield, and it's not even as complex as Genshin Impact, and yet it's still fumbled. You know what I mean? So it's mad. It's mad.
Yeah. So that the excitement was high. And what it delivered was super low, so that's why it makes my most disappointing. But yeah, back to the top five. Number 3. This time I'll start with you, Ben, for your number 3. What you got?
My number 3, if I can very quickly, sneakily bring up my spreadsheet, is Returnal. Now,
fuck that game. No, I'm joking.
So Sunny mentioned about like the DualSense and a few of the games. The way that Returnal uses it is just fucking incredible. Like the triggers, the haptics, everything in it. Like when you step out of the ship, like there's just the raindrops that pattern on the bottom of the thing. It's just everything about that game. Like it makes me understand why people like Dark Souls, but fuck Dark Souls. But like, it makes me understand why people like those games. But I really loved it, like the way that the weapons feel, like the way that the enemies attack you, and then obviously the kind of roguelike nature of it. It's great. Like I absolutely loved the hell out of it when I played it, and I just thought this is a game that more people need to play.
Testify, brother.
I mean, I bought it and I played it up until biome 3. Then I was like, "Fuck this shit!" Like literally going through like the third biome and trying to get to the boss was like, I got to the boss. Yeah, I got to the boss a few times.
Yeah,
and I almost killed it like once, I think. But then I was like, I don't have the patience to go through all the biomes again to get through to this part.
It is a game that requires time investment and patience. And I'll be completely honest. I don't think I would have had that time and patience if I weren't reviewing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got the game, obviously we got the game early for review and was plowing so many hours into it. And like you, there was a point where I just thought, fuck it, I can't do this. Like I couldn't get past one of the biomes, but like, yeah, I'd managed to kind of fluke my way through it in one run. And I was like, this is just great. Cause like when you get that run, you get the best weapon, you get the upgrades, you get
health bars,
you just hit everything. And it's so good.
No, I can very much appreciate the craftsmanship behind it from Housemarque. Absolutely all the plaudits they're getting from you and like from the game awards like people as well, and it's getting like from IGN or GameSpot, etc. It's getting well recognized. It is a well crafted game in terms of its genre, but yeah, I just was like, fuck this. Life's too short. I'm not gonna get stuck on Returnal. But I know Sunny loved it.
Well, I never finished it because there's a category for best old game that took me away from Returnal. But echo everything Ben said. DualSense, unbelievable. But I want to shout out the score in that world, because it just sounded very Man of Steel. That first level. So obviously it was there, but obviously I know now that there's a way to cheat around the new one save feature, so you can finish the game. I'll probably do that. I don't have the time to fucking keep dying. Listen, I haven't recuperated from Demon Souls remake yet, and the Flame Lurker, so I can't do that again. But I will get to Returnal. It's still installed on my PlayStation. I'll probably start it again just to get back into it and do the story and stuff. But I will cheat save my way to the end of that game. But yeah, stunning game. I think that's what we're going to say about every Sony first party game when it comes to the DualSense. Stunning.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I mean, for me, I think Astro is still like the pinnacle of
100%.
This is how you use this thing, but Returnal is like kind of like
the way you use it.
This is a game that uses it really well.
Yeah, it's true. Nice pick. Sunny, you're number 3.
Sticking with number 3, Hitman 3. And I just got one thing to say: Dartmoor Manor. That's it. That is it. That is the game. I mean, no, Hitman 3 was. I didn't like the reinvented Hitman and Hitman 2. It was more, again, just to get people to keep playing content online. But Hitman 3 tried to tie the story up, and it did well. But this is IO Interactive firing on all cylinders. This is the equivalent. IO was the equivalent of Naughty Dog on The Last of Us 2 or Uncharted 4. A sucker punch with a new IP, it was, they hit everything perfect. Like Hitman 3 is the levels, the world, the map that you're in. That's what makes the game, and the options that are available to you as a player are amazing. I mean, I've actually been thinking about it lately, thinking, do you know what, I want to go back and platinum this game, you know what I mean? Because it's such a challenge and it's so fun. But Dartmoor Manor, that level alone, the fact that you can just... It's the murder mystery, you know what I mean? It is literally Knives Out, the video game, that level is. And it's so good. And the imagination that went into it. And I'm so excited to see what they do with the 007 game.
Oh, man. Yeah. Perfect match.
It's Dartmoor Manor was literally the detective mode in Batman without the Batman, you know what I mean? and the Russian... If you haven't played Hitman 3, highly recommend it. Just be patient, just take your time and enjoy. But I don't even think there was a single bad level in that game. Probably the train at the end, because it wasn't as open as the rest of them.
But even that was
a solid 8 out of 10 anyway. But what a game. You know, I don't need to talk about it anymore.
I
What a
mean,
game.
we won't add to it because I feel like it's going to come a bit later on for Ben and I.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we'll move on to my third place. And I think this is probably going to come in both of yours a bit later on, is Deathloop. Third place for me is Deathloop. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a bit earlier, like the mission structure, Sunny, you mentioned, is super. Once it clicks, it just like, it opens up a world of possibility for you. And you're like, ha, this is how I can go about killing this visionary, and this is where I can catch these two together. And like, I know some people were quite critical of the story and how it wrapped up, but actually I quite enjoyed that personally. I thought it was it's not something I expected. Again, I'm not going to mention any spoilers just in case people haven't played it yet, but the way it wrapped up was actually, I thought it was quite interesting, and it was quite open-ended, and it left it up to kind of the player to decide obviously which path you go down. There is a choice. Again, that's maybe a little spoiler, but it's still open-ended in terms of like, it makes you think about it as a player. It's like, okay, that's kind of what went down and kind of what happened here. And yeah, just the options, like I don't know what you guys picked, and you might mention it later on, like my thing was like, is it I forgot the names of the powers, but I used the one where you can tag people,
and
then
chain the guys together.
Yeah, chain the guys and just headshot one. Oh, just doing that was like, this is
This
is like, you just get them all into one area, tag them all, it's like pap, all you're dead. That's
Ben,
it.
can you do me a favor? Can you just timestamp that from Asim and send it to me? That was amazing. I'm going to use that for everything now. That's going to be on the latest PS5 intro.
Oh dear.
No, man,
that's how it made me feel. That's how it made me feel.
So good.
Yeah. And like, we also tried, like, I invaded Sunny's world as well.
That was.
And then I thought I killed him, because I did kill you once, right? But you had a second life. I totally forgot about the second life bit. And I was like feeling so proud of myself. I was like, yeah, I've done him. And then I was like, what the heck, he's back? What the hell? And then I think he got me to like really low health, and I fell down myself and killed myself somewhere because I was panicking. I was like, oh fuck. But that mechanic in itself is also.
I respawned cool. And literally sprinted across the map.
Yeah, I was like,
this geezer is not leaving my world until I have him.
Because I got you the first time quite well. I was quite sneaky about it. I disguised myself as one of the other guys on the thing, and I tried to put my routine like it would be an AI, like just go back and forth. But then he was like, I think he clicked. He was like,
it's clicked. But then there's a lot more, and even the AI started coming at me. I was like, what's going on here?
It's so good. I mean, just
that's what I love about the game.
Yeah. Just for those type of moments, like that feature in there as well is superb. And I had people from my friends list invade my game as well, and it just adds intention, like the tension to the game. I think, for me, the best PS5 exclusive, which is owned by Microsoft and Xbox, which is ironic. That's why it makes number 3 for me.
Nice.
But I'm gathering you guys will talk about it a bit later as well. We'll go on to another one of our categories, which is a best old game. And just to clarify, this is a game that wasn't released this year, but we've gone back and played or got kind of hooked into. I'll start this time with my one, and this is not #paid or sponsored or because I worked there for a period of time. Borderlands 3 is my one. I went back and played it with my kind of co-op partner Gary. We blasted through, because I got to, when it originally came out, I played it a bit, but it had like kind of issues with its performance. And then the PS5 version, obviously upgrade, came out, and I was like, okay, I'm going to give it another chance. Played it, the story through with Gary, played all the DLCs, because there's been so many DLC bits of content for it, like meaty bits of DLC, and it was just a blast to play on the PS5. All the technical issues gone, solid 60 frames per second, and I think in performance,
didn't look grungy, did it?
It looked grungy.
Look grungy.
It didn't look grungy anymore. It was super clear, super, really, really fun to play. And again, there were moments where Gary got frustrated again, but that made it even better. There were boss battles that we were kind of struggling with, and Gary was like, "Oh, I'm giving up." I was like, "No, Gary, we can do it.
Sounds
Don't
like
worry.
a Una.
We can do it." But yeah, that was that was my best old game. And we can move on to Sunny, perhaps, for your best old
game. Jurassic World Evolution. Now, I play Football Manager every season on my phone. I love it. I love these management games. When the PS5 first came out, I picked up Planet Coaster, platinum that, great platinum. That's it. Jurassic World has always been a game that I've wanted to get to. I just never had the time to get to it because you need to invest time into it. And I thought, okay, now's the time. There's a quiet time. Let's do it. I just took my time. I don't use guides for games. I just like to play them. And it kind of pissed me off when I finished Jurassic World because I could have done it 20 hours faster if I did use the guide and realize what I was doing. But
it's on PS Plus, wasn't it?
I think it was. I think it was at one point. But then it was like super cheap. It was like 3 or 5.
Yeah, no, I picked it up for like $7.99.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally just took my time. And as you build up and hit the challenges and things like that, it's such an achievement and it's so great. It's your park, it's your creation, your innovation, and it's Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. So it was amazing. So that was mine for me. And yes, I was singing. We got a T-Rex. Yeah, so love it. And I will be playing Jurassic World Evolution 2, but same thing. I will wait until I have nothing else to play.
£7.
Now it's time to do it and do it. Yeah, £8 purchase.
Nice. Ben, over to you for your best old game.
Motherfucking Hades.
Hades. Okay, interesting.
Like,
interesting. I haven't played that yet.
Oh mate, it's on Game Pass. Get on it. Like, I think that was the thing. It got so many like Game of the Year awards last year when it came out on Switch. Like so many people saying, "Oh, you've got to play this." And I was just like, "Yeah." And we actually had this conversation today, me and Asim, when we said that like my Switch hasn't really been touched all that much over the past year or so, and I think that kind of happened last year as well. So I didn't pick it up because I was just like, I'm not sure on it. And then day one, other consoles hits Game Pass. I think I've probably put more hours into that game this year than I have anything else.
Interesting.
It's just it's disgustingly good.
I want to play it, and I think it would have been a real culture shock to the games industry if it had come out any other year that wasn't The Last of Us 2's year. It would have won. It would have cleaned up. I mean, the only awards that The Last of Us 2 didn't win for Game of the Year was won by Hades.
Yeah.
You know, and as I mentioned with the Game Awards, it won the DICE Game of the Year, didn't it? Hades, and that is prestige that you get in the industry because your peers are voting for that, aren't they? So I want to get to it as well in the future.
I mean, it's just so finely balanced. It's like you get your different weapons, and then you'll go through, and you'll finally get to Hades, and it'll be like, oh man, this is amazing. And then you'll get struck down, and you'll be like, oh fuck, you got all the way back to the start, and you think, what if I try it with a different weapon? And then all of a sudden, that weapon makes more sense. And it's just, such a deep layered game. I have beaten it precisely once.
Okay.
Twice. I've beaten it precisely twice. I keep going back to it when I've not really got anything else to play.
Did you thirst over the characters like people are on Twitter?
Did I what? Sorry.
Thirst over the characters, like there's some like weird thirsting over the characters going on.
I'm pleading the fifth on this question.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
No, I didn't. For sure. No,
you didn't. Okay.
I'm not that thirsty.
Okay, fair enough. So that's the headline of this podcast. Ben's not that thirsty. Cool. So that's best old game. Let's move on to the runner-up for all of us in terms of the 2021 Game of the Year. Sunny, we'll start with you.
Deathloop is my runner-up for Game of the Year. I don't need to go into the stuff you mentioned, obviously time as well, but I just want to shout out the different visionaries and the ways to get them, specifically Wengie Evans, who has duplicates of herself, and I smoked a duplicate. I thought that was easy and got smoked. I was like, wait, what? And it gives you those moments. Juliana Blake keeps coming in and just doing your head in when you're trying to do things in stealth. Alexis, he's at the party, he's having fun, and you got to figure out your
that
way.
Was my favorite one.
You know what I mean? But also, the funniest one, and he's barely in the game, is Frank, the firework guy. You don't even see him. You just hear him. You hear him. And you're like, the way you get to him, right, in that final is stunning. You know what I mean? And just the way they do it. I mean, Igor was really frustrating with his invisibility stuff. But yeah, as Asim said before, everything about the game is great. If you haven't played it, give it time. and you'll absolutely fall in love with the game, and it will fall into place. And it's like nothing you've ever played before in regards to structure. But that's all I've got to say about Deathloop runner-up. And a shout out to its DualSense capabilities. The triggers were amazing on that game, especially when the gun
jams
up,
trigger jams. You're like, what? Love it.
Nice. Ben, over to you. I think ours might be the same. I'm not sure.
Yeah, my runner-up is also Deathloop. Again, pretty much what Sunny said there, but I think I've seen a lot of people complaining after the fact about, like, you know, well, it's not a time loop game because you have like set things, and you know you've got to do a certain area at a certain time, and then you can't go and do another area, like they're not linked and stuff like that. But I kind of thought, when I was listening to some criticisms like that, I just thought you reassess what you're expecting of the game. Like, I mean, I didn't really know what to expect other than cool as shit art style, you know, a looping time scenario, and two assassins that want to kill each other. That was basically all I got from all the trailers and stuff. But as the game goes on, like, you kind of, you know, like Sonny says, you have that first moment when you kill your first visionary, and then it's like, right, okay, it's the afternoon. I've got one more time bit, so I now need to go and kill the other 7. Oh shit, I'm not going to be able to do it. So it's that layered learning that you kind of realize. What I would like to see is maybe a mode where they don't give you the hints as the day goes through, like to say, go here, and then it's signposted on your map and you've got to go and do it. It's just like I think they should probably just give you a mode where it's like, right, you know what to do by now. Go nuts. Do what you want to do. But yeah, phenomenal game. Absolutely loved it. Some of the methods of killing people in that game were crazy. The powers were amazing. I loved the hell out of that game. And I was delighted to see it get multiple 10 out of 10s. I think I gave it a 9, but yeah.
How dare you?
It's a good game.
Nice. So Deathloop for both of you for number 2. That's good. All right, my number 2 is something that Sunny has hit upon before. I say hit because it's Hitman 3. Dartmoor level you mentioned. My one. Both of you know Berlin. Yeah. Fuck me, how good is that level?
It's such a great level again. I'm gonna go play the game again now.
Like, Dartmoor is great, and I think that, if correct me if I'm wrong, that is before the Berlin level. Berlin is when things really open up. I mean, Dartmoor opens, but then Berlin it's just like, go in this fucking nightclub, and it kind of reminded me of the movie Collateral, where, you know, you're going in the club, lights are blaring out, you got, you know, a Hitman scenario there as well, really, and you just have to kind of find your target, because I think you've got targets really at that point. And I mean, I did it several ways, but I went back to it. There's many other ways you could do it as well. And the way I like to play Hitman, and like most stealth games, is like, especially Hitman, is like walk in there and then walk out like nothing happened, like leave no sign, and just walk out like an absolute boss. It's like, yep, did it. Yeah, no one recognized anything. But there's so many ways. Just that level in itself could be a game of the year. The way it's designed, like, people, I mean, I haven't read many reviews about it, but people don't give the level design enough credit, I think. Like, and I think it's been done dirty because it came out at the start of the year for most of the Game Awards. But the level design from start to finish is intricate, and it's just beautifully designed. Like, the pockets of each map essentially offer something different in terms of ways of taking out your targets, etc. It's so fucking good.
I think I'm happy it came out when it did, because it allowed more people to play the game, because there wasn't anything else to play. It's the fastest and best-selling Hitman game of all time. And I think that's what they would take over the award right now. You know what I mean? Because what a game! What a game!
Yeah,
100%. What a game! And there's a fucking VR mode in PSVR. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I can't speak highly enough. Like, I've just talked about the Berlin level. Like, the one, I think it might be like in Far East Asia somewhere, where like you go.
Is that Chongqing?
Chongqing. the chef, like you go to the you can poison the sushi and stuff like that. And then you go on, obviously, like you're taking down the drones essentially on the rooftop as well. That mission was superb as well. Like you're infiltrating like I think it's like a lab to take out one of the targets. It's just stealth done absolutely right. And as I know, I think we both, like, everyone here is like a Metal Gear fan or a Splinter Cell fan. Like, as people starved of like proper stealth games, Hitman 3 hit the spot and then some. So that's why it takes number 2 for me, which is number 1 maybe. But yeah, let's go to the last category. No, actually not the last category. It's the second to last category. Best looking game.
Should we do the 2 categories together and then
we can do it together?
Yeah.
Best looking game and most anticipated. So we'll start with best looking game with you, Sunny, and then after, let us know your most anticipated.
Can you come back to me? It's hard.
All right.
It's hard. I thought I had one, and then I've been listening to you guys talk, and I'm like, shit, what actually was the best looking game?
I mean, for me, best looking game, it is a toss up. It is an absolute knife edge between Ratchet and Clank and Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
I think Forza Horizon, just because of the world, like I play it in performance mode, and to be honest with you, I don't really see why people wouldn't do, because you're driving at 200 miles an hour. You're not going to notice, Digital Foundry level nitpicks on the ground textures and stuff like that. Like it's just a phenomenal looking game. Like when you go into like Forza Vista as well, like you get really close up to stuff, and they've enabled the ray tracing in Forza Vista, and when you see like the camera pans down and you just got like the slight deformation in all the body panels and stuff, you just like, this is a ridiculous.
The world is just beautiful, really. It's like the world as well to drive around is beautiful. Like, and even like you said, you play it in performance, but the quality mode as well, it's 30, but I think I remember reading or watching on Digital Foundry that even the 30 doesn't feel like 30 because they're like some of the tricks. It's phenomenal. Like either way you play it is phenomenal. But I mean, my best looking game is Ratchet, so there you go. We can split up.
Yeah, I've yet to play Forza on my PC, but I've got a 3080, so it's like I just want to push it and push it to 4K.
Yeah, push some performance out of that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, while we're talking best looking game, I'll just give mine up as well. It's Ratchet and Clank. So we give a fair split. There you go. You got Forza, I got Ratchet. Yeah, but like I mentioned before, technically, like whatever mode you play at, but I think I played it with I don't know if both modes have ray tracing on, because I just played with ray tracing.
At launch, there was performance and ray tracing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but now
performance and fidelity. But now that there's another one which is like 40 frames a second.
Yeah.
You're talking about Ratchet or Forza?
Ratchet.
Oh, Ratchet. Yeah, Ratchet's got a faster frame rate with everything they've added. Same to Miles Morales.
Miles,
so a lot more stuff.
So it's not quite, because performance RT in Miles I think is 60, but performance, whatever they've called it in Ratchet, is 40 frames a second. So if you've got a 120 hertz TV, that is perfect for that, because it's once every 3. Yeah, I think we all have.
That's it, man. So, as soon as these new consoles came out, we all blew a one on the TV.
Hell yeah.
But
yeah. Just beautiful game.
Yeah. Sunny, can we come to you for best looking?
Yeah. It was a toss up between 2, but I'm not going to say one of them because it's my number 1 game of the year. So the other one was Kenna Bridge of Spirits, just because
I've started playing that. Yeah,
a year of, like, we're in this year, the first proper year of Xbox Series X and PlayStation. A lot of the visuals look the same, and then comes this small independent game, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, and it doesn't have the production values of Ratchet and Clank, which looks absolutely stunning. But I just think the way they made this thing look like a Pixar movie is on another level. And I just love the beauty of the world. I love how fast, again, another thing, SSD speed, it just loads so quick. And there's no, when you change the world and it brings color back, it just happens, and it's such a beautiful game. And it's one of many games that have made me stop and say, wow. And that's the world we live in, and that's what we're going to get every year now.
I mean, I've started it, but photo mode is going to take my life away.
And let's all be honest, we're not dumb. Secretly, all 3, it's The Matrix Awakens, but we're not allowed to say that because it's an experience, not a game, right? Yeah. But wow, if that's where we're going to end up, take me there, right?
Take me there. Take me there, indeed. Okay, So we got our best looking games, most anticipated. Sunny, we'll start with you.
I had one, but I've got two after the Game Awards. I've got about 50 actually, but I'm only going to narrow it down to two. So the first one is The Expanse, a Telltale game. I absolutely love the Expanse TV program, and to have a Telltale with Kamina Drummer in there as well, which is played by Carrie G, and she's voicing it, is great. It's just such a unique story, and to have it as a Telltale game, absolutely perfect.
Can I just go back and redo my biggest disappointment, actually? Because my biggest disappointment was actually when you saw the Telltale logo and it wasn't The Wolf Among Us 2.
But yeah, I mean, I can't wait for this game. It's going to be stunning. It's going to be great because it's just The Expanse. So that's one of them. And the second one is obviously God of War Ragnarok. 2018's God of War hit home to me in a big way. It's my number one greatest video game of all time at this point in time, and that took a long time to pip the original Metal Gear Solid off, but that game was so special. So the anticipation level, the fact that the base structure is already in place, so they've spent a lot of the development time fine-tuning and changing stuff. So just a continuation of this story, you know what I mean? I'm as hyped for this as I am for part 2 of Dune. You know, so I'm looking forward to it. So God of War Ragnarok and The Expanse Telltale games are my two most anticipated games. I cheated.
No, that's
Ben,
fine.
what's yours?
That's
yours, Ben?
I think
mine.
Is it ours? Is it all the same?
I mean, my most anticipated game is God of War Ragnarok.
God of War, yeah. So it's mine. God of War Ragnarok. Yeah.
Like,
yes. I thought somebody would say like Horizon or Starfield. I know they're all, but there's so many good games.
I mean, that's just the thing. Like Horizon is undoubtedly going to be amazing because you know the first one was just so special. But like, I think you hit the nail on the head. You just said like the way that they nailed it with the first God of War reboot. It's just like. It's fucking perfect, and I just can't wait to see where they take it. Like, I don't think they overstayed the welcome. I think they did the right thing without adding, you know, loads of additional stuff after the fact. They just kind of put it out and went, right, here's the game, enjoy it. That's it. They've not had any DLC for anything, have they?
Nah, and here's the weird thing, and a lot of Sony don't get the props for this as much as they do, but with the exception of Days Gone, which had the day one patch to fix it, but the review went out without it, they don't release bust up games. Do you know what I mean? There's no issues. Like God of War came out and it was just ready to go, you know, and like you said, I can't think of a weak point, you know, and the one shot take, you know, Asim's favorite feature. What I can't wait for the second game, man. It's going to be amazing.
I love that.
You say that. I did find one game breaking bug in Ratchet before launch. But they fixed it before launch.
They fixed it. So there you go. They still fixed it.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. No, I think all of us picked God of War, but I think there's so many other games. Like I could have added like Suicide Squad to it, Gotham Knights. Could have added Horizon. Could have added Sifu, for example.
That's great.
Or...
eFootball update delay.
Yeah, I'm not adding that to any list.
eFootball 1.0.
Can I just give a special shout out to, not just because Asim worked there, but the GM mode for WWE 2K. I don't care about the WWE 2K. I care about the GM mode. That's all I care about. You know what I mean? Cannot wait.
You're going to spend all your time.
Also, I'd quite like to give a special shout out to the developers of WWE 2K who are dealing with a constantly changing roster all the bloody time.
Tough times.
Yeah.
But they're a good bunch.
I remember when Asim told me, he's like, oh, I'm going to be working on WWE. And I said to him straight, I says, just watch. You're going to see so many. I said, one of the things they're going to keep firing people. You have to keep taking characters out the game or putting them in the legacy mode or something like that.
Hey, guys, I just finished Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, it's in the year where visual concepts have gone to town on it. And it's the year with the biggest cuts ever in a singular year. It's mad.
Yeah,
it's absolutely mad. But I mean, you guys said it. I think the real plus for all of us is Nintendo has their biggest AAA hitters next year. Microsoft have their biggest AAA hitters next year. Sony has their biggest AAA hitters next year. As a gamer, we are going to be spoiled. 2022 could potentially go down as the greatest year in video games.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be mad.
Like, you got Starfield, you got Dying Light 2, GT7, which is Gran Turismo. You got Stalker as well. We forgot about that. Forspoken.
And then more importantly, we don't even know yet. We might end up,
Elden Ring?
we might
Elden
even
Ring?
end. We might even end the year with PSVR 2. We don't even know yet.
Actually,
You know what I mean? It's just so much stuff. It's what a year. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And sitting at the top of that pile, it's that update. It is that update 1.0, baby.
Oh,
1.0.
no. I'm not gonna add that to any list. Any list.
Okay.
I mean, we even forgot. Wait a minute. We even forgot Dead Space remake. Is that next year?
Yeah, it's scheduled, but they haven't given a solidified date for it.
Yeah,
I think it was
I'd
slip.
be surprised.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. We didn't mention any Nintendo games, but like you mentioned Zelda, like
Breath of the Wild 2, yeah.
Breath of the Wild 2, even like Mario and Rabbids as well. You know?
Is that confirmed for next year, Breath of the Wild 2?
I mean,
it's
I'm
definitely.
sure they put a trailer out with a year on it, didn't they?
Yeah, but then it's not ready. It's not ready to show. Let's move it, and then it's moved and then moved. But you know that when Breath of the Wild 2 come, it's a year when previous Game of the Year winners are going to go head to head. Like,
yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see how stacked the categories are going to be. You know, for Game of the Year, I can't wait.
Last of Us remake potentially as well. You never know. That might be a stealth drop. I think they'll probably drop that with like 2 or 3 months in advance notice, and they'll be like, yeah,
we'll know it's coming when the HBO has a launch date. Then you know it's coming around there. So
absolutely. But that wraps it up. We've gone through everything in terms of categories, but now we go to everyone's number one.
I'm really interested because I thought some of the games would have been mentioned, so it'll be really interesting to see what everybody's Game of the Year is.
Okay, Ben, you want to kick us off?
Hitman 3. Like, I love Hitman. I love
the Hitmans.
I love everything about it. Just kind of the way that they brought everything through from Hitman into Hitman 2. And then from Hitman 2, they've allowed you to bring that through to Hitman 3. They've kind of updated all the physics in the old games.
That was a pretty easy process as well, actually. It wasn't that bad. Yeah.
So, like, you know, you get... If you buy Hitman 3, you can find somebody that has Hitman 2 on a disc, or, you know, and the original Hitman, like, or you can pay 30, 40 quid, I think it is, to get all the stuff. But basically, like, having that, the World of Assassination trilogy, as they call it, having everything in one place, like, that in itself, for me, having that amount of support kind of pushes you into another level of like Game of the Year territory. But then you go into what you said about the levels, like, you walk out in Dubai and you're just like, this is a James Bond game. Like, and I am hard for the James Bond game from IO. And then you go, you know, Dubai to Dartmoor. Dartmoor's just exceptional. Berlin, like, I still
that's
like I still don't think
it's a sandbox. It's just a sandbox, man.
I still don't think I've been everywhere in Berlin. Like, there's just so much there.
There's the part where, like, you can take over like the DJ booth as well, which I did as well. Just messing around. I spent my most time in that level, just seeing.
What are you lying for? You didn't mess around. You looked for the weekend record.
The Weeknd.
I know you.
They couldn't afford him, bro.
Can you imagine if you did that and you found it? You would have been like,
game of the decade.
But then, like, you know, you go to like Chongqing and it's just like, this is mental. Like, that level in itself. You've got the whole above ground area, and then you go into like that subterranean
lab.
Lab. It's just insane. And then you've got like the Mendoza level, which is the wine tasting level.
Oh, that was good as well.
Yeah, like, kind of having that bit, having the wine press. Like, how many people can you fit in the wine press? Like, and then just smash.
I locked one of the targets in the freezer, I think.
Yes. Yeah. I've done that as well. Like, there's just so many different ways of doing it. And like, it sounds so cheesy at this point. Like, we're in 2021, like, kind of going, oh, you can play it how you want. You can go in quiet or you can go in loud. But like, honestly,
no,
you can do whatever the fuck you want in that game.
Yeah.
And it's it's brilliant. Like, I absolutely love it. And they've got more coming next year. They've got some DLC coming, including I think they've called it the Elusive Target Gallery. So you're going to be able to go back and do all of the elusive targets through Hitman 2 and Hitman 3.
Nice.
Like, to me, that is, as somebody that's sort of not grown up with because I was old enough when the first Hitman came out, but like as someone that's kind of gone through a chunk of adult life through this series, like releasing.
Yeah.
Hitman was like, awesome, I'm going to do all the elusive targets, I'm going to set aside, some time for my weekend, and it's going to be great. And then Hitman 2, it's like, okay, right, I've done 1 or 2 or 3, and then Hitman 3's come out. I'm just like, I can't find the time to do this. So like having that gallery come out is just now going to be an amazing thing to just blitz through all of them. And they've got a new level.
Yeah, I saw that.
The new map. So like, yeah, if you want everything from it, it probably will cost you a little bit more, but honestly, the fact that you can get, I think you probably get Hitman on disc for like a $5 from CEX or something. Like you basically just put the 2 discs in, or the 3 discs in if you're getting Hitman 3 on disc or whatever, but like basically put all the discs in, get all the content. There's a very handy guide actually. I can't remember where it is.
Oh, it might be on nextgenbase.com. Yeah.
So like, yeah, basically you go through that, and then you have so much game, just so much video game.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
When you said so much game, I was like, he's talking about Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, it's just like phenomenal game, and easily my top game of the year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Good pick, Mr. Sanghera.
I like that. Just a quick one. Are mine and yours the same?
I don't think so.
No, they're not.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I like the fact that our top 5s have just intertwined with one another. But my number 1 this year goes to Resident Evil Village. What a game. Now, I loved 7. Went a bit crazy at the end, but Village's pacing was stunning. I just want to give a shout out first to the audio of this game. It was robbed. It's the best. It's better than Forza's audio. I don't know why Forza won it.
Phenomenal.
It's just the spatial 3D audio in that game with a 3D audio headset. Everything about it just changes the fear level.
Shit my pants.
Exactly. It takes it when you can take a tech feature and make the game scarier. That's what it's all about. And not to mention, it was stunningly beautiful. It played really well. But what really stood out to me was the difference in the bosses. When you are fighting the Dimitrescu daughters, and you keep that what, and then you realize, and I only realized how to do it when one of my bullets went astray, and it popped a hole in there. And I was like, oh, okay,
vampires, sunlight.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And then obviously Lady Dimitrescu herself, the way she's just following you, you know what I mean? Very unique in that boss battle style, old school Resident Evil. But a shout out, Asim knows where I'm going this. Angie the doll.
Fuck's sake, man.
Donny Buenavitio, or what's her name? Beneviento or something like that.
Yeah,
go to a house.
That house. Just that
house. And it's just full of dolls. And yeah, you can imagine what a horror game
before the dolls, bro.
It's just the whole thing about that game, everything about it, I really was engrossed. And again, as I mentioned, when I wasn't playing it, because I only played that game at nighttime, because that's the only way to play Resident Evil Village,
only played it in the light.
You know what I mean? So I played Resident Evil in a dark room with that game, and I was just thinking, I just want to go home and play Resident Evil. Why is it not nighttime? Why is it not nighttime? Get the kids to bed quickly. I want to play Resident Evil Village. Game of the year, hands down. Highly recommended for everybody. And yep, this DLC.
Ben ain't gonna play it soon. Ben ain't.
It's one of the best games that I will appreciate and never ever play.
Yeah.
Just shout out to Asim's favorite character in that game, baby.
Oh dear, mate, that level will give you nightmares.
It's when you're gonna hide in the wardrobe when it comes. You're like, where do I hide? Like, where do I go?
It's just the whole build up to that part is beautiful. It's just like horror, like that is pure survival horror. Genius. And it's like the best the series has probably done it, that part of the genre. And yeah, it's the closest thing you'll probably come to like PT being realized, that particular section. And like the madness it brings with it. It's just pure scares. It's genuine scares. And
it's now it's Resident Evil's best-selling individual game. You know what I mean? If you don't count remakes and originals and stuff. So the fact that what was a risk to go first person and focus more on survival horror than action. Who would have thought that would have paid off, right? But it did, and it's the best-selling Resident Evil game of all time. So they did something right. Bring on the final one. Let's do it.
Same question that Asim asked me earlier. Were you thirsty for the big vampire lady?
Not her, one of the daughters, though. Yeah, 100%, 100%. But what a game! What a game!
No, great game. I mean, if we were going through a top 10, if we had time, that would be in my top 10. It just missed out on the top 5. But excellent game. But I will finish off with my pick. Is It Takes Two is my game of the year, and the Game of the Awards recognized it as well, so I was super happy. For that team in particular.
Hazelight, and fuck the Oscars.
Exactly, Joseph Fares and his team. Hazelight Studios absolutely fed. Like, I liked A Way Out, and I played that co-op as well, and it was very, very good. But you could tell there was like room for improvement in certain mechanics, and even like parts of the story where they could improve on things. They've improved on it every aspect with It Takes Two. And that's why it's getting all the plaudits, and it absolutely deserves it. Like the mechanic, like we were talking about this in our NGB group chat, and like why certain games aren't higher in our overall list. I was like, Metroid is Metroid, Forza is Forza. That's not a dig at either of them. It's just a fact. They're iterations of what's come before. Whereas It Takes Two is unique, original IP, and there's a reason why you don't see co-op games from more developers and like more publishers backing it, because it's very hard to do over a sustained period of time. They nail it. They absolutely nail the mechanics, that you're never like, some co-op games you could be bored as one character. You're never doing that. You're always doing something, and there's always either a cooperative, like the majority is a cooperative part to it, but there is also competitive parts. Like there were certain mini games in between where you're like working against each other just for fun.
Tug of war.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it all links into the story as well. So everything just fuses together very, very nice. Like the story, again, no spoilers because Ben, you're still to play it, but the story it's just lovely. It's a lovely story. Like it's about family essentially, and like you can obviously, like you'll probably see it in the trailers, like the parents get divorced and the kid's sad and they get turned into these dolls, and it's their job to like get back into their human form and kind of look after their kid again. But it's about the way it does that, brings that story together with the gameplay is superb. And I know something you actually yet to finish it. There are genuinely emotional moments as well, so get ready for that as well.
I think a good thing about the game to give a shout out for is the developer made obviously Brothers.
Yeah, Brothers.
And then they made A Way Out, and then they've made It Takes Two. But what makes I played A Way Out, and it's very the co-op sections are very suited to that game.
Yeah.
So what makes this game really stand out is when it is very co-op heavy in sections that require you to work together. What you're required to do fits the game, fits the scenario, fits the level design, everything. Like when you figure it out, you're like, oh my God, that's so smart. You know what I mean?
It is.
Great game.
It is.
And
like
as I said to people, it's on EA Play.
Yeah,
just pick it up for pennies.
And like, even if you buy it on the PS5, like only one person needs to buy it, because there's like a pass you can get someone to play it with you for free.
Yeah, $3.99 on EA Play. Just pick it up.
Don't
worry about anything.
Well.
Don't worry about anything else on there. Just play It Takes Two. You know what I mean? And you're good to go. That's it.
Yeah, it is superb. So I mean, that rounds things off. Is there any, like, while we're just finishing up, is there any other games you want to give a quick shout out to? No eFootball, Sunny. Sorry.
Football Manager 2022. That's all I'm saying. Everybody knows why, but play it on the phone because then you can play it while you're on the bathroom and stuff like that. So it's amazing. I love Football Manager 2022. It's a lot of fun. But if you've got time to spare and you just want to mess around for a weekend, or you just want to have a laugh or something different, pick up Maneater. If you've got it PlayStation Plus, it's in there. It's like nothing. It's Echo the Dolphin on steads. You are literally a shark eating things, and
Pretty much that, yeah.
The narrative of the game is hilarious. The movie references are hilarious. It's just a fun pick up and play, have a quick blast, laugh. So much so I platinumed it.
Yeah. Oh wow. Oh, wow.
One quick special shout out. Actually, I've just finished this one. The Artful Escape is on Game Pass.
I've heard good things. I've heard good things.
It's a great game. Like, just colors and music, and just it's really trippy, and it's just a really nice chill game. So yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, there's probably people shouting at us listening to this podcast saying like,
eFootball.
You forgot Metroid, you forgot Psychonauts, you forgot Halo, all these games. Don't worry. Like we said, this is our personal discussion. The website stuff is coming, and you'll get a lot more content in there, a lot more thoughts from all the team. So don't worry, Absolutely. Nintendo fans, Metroid probably will be represented in there somewhere. Don't worry about it. And like, I personally put Halo in mine as well. Like, I want to give a special shout out to Halo. I've just kind of finished, like, I've literally got on pause. I'm on the last mission of the campaign. I've got a review coming for that. But yeah, the multiplayer, I know, like, we live in a world where the multiplayer games come out and they're just broken.
They just go, yeah.
Shout out to Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
Just worked. Even if it's beta form, yeah, you can say stuff about the battle pass, etc. They've worked on that super quickly, but the game worked, and it's super fun. And the campaign actually is really, really good as well. So maybe next year, when it's more of a fully formed game, and the battle pass is there and the co-op comes in as well, maybe it will make our list next year. But let's see.
Kind of, it released after our cut-off, didn't it? So
yeah, absolutely. But
you got no chance of that making your top 5 with what we're talking about. Anticipated, no chance. You're just being nice, yeah. You just be, there's too much next year.
There is too much next year. But on that note, we will finish up. Sunny, thank you so much for being on. We really appreciate it. We'll be doing more stuff with the latest PS5 guys. But where this is your chance to give your platform, your podcast, a shout out, Sunny.
Thank you very much. Well, yeah, we're really excited.
www.efootball.com.
You beat me to it. I was going to start talking about Konami and everything. What the hell? But, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for having me as well. I know Ben and I know Asim personally. Love to do content with them and get them on our show as well. It's the latest PS5 podcast where me and it's got a unique take on it because it's myself who has been on PlayStation since day one and a Nintendo gamer who is also a PlayStation gamer. So the banter between us is hilarious.
It really is.
You can find this on Twitter at Latest PS5, where we just bring you all the latest news. It's very community driven, so we get a lot of letters in. We answer those questions. It's just a lot of fun, and it's unique. There's no agendas. It's just a PlayStation guy and a Nintendo guy arguing about console sales and Tekken.
I was going to say, yeah.
And wanting to drink Jack Daniels and stuff. Yeah. So if you want to have a bit of a laugh, just head over to that at Latest PS5 on Twitter. You can also find us on all podcast services. Just search for the Latest PS5 Podcast. And if you scroll down, you'll find My Gaming, which is a show dedicated to people listing their greatest games of all time. Episode 1 was Asim Tanvir. I'm going to get Ben on there as well. Asim's got a great list, and we're giggling as we're talking about each game because it just brings back the nostalgia, which is what these shows are all about, aren't they? So, it's amazing. Thanks, guys.
Like, these guys are like, if you want PS5 updates and news, these guys are the ones to go for. Like, we'll be retweeting some of their stuff as well on our channel. That we're in the new year, we'll be a lot more active on everything. So yeah, look forward to that. But yeah, any last words, Ben, before we finish up in terms of content coming up?
Are you gonna kill me? What?
No, any last words ever?
No, man. It's just it's been 2021 has been a year. So yeah, let's smash 2022. It'll be good.
Nice. And we've got our personal websites, game of the year stuff coming up. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Ben's gonna be working hard on that. But yeah, thank you for listening, guys. There'll be more podcasts hopefully in the new year from us. But hope everyone has a great Christmas and an absolutely fantastic 2022.
See.
Later.
Bye.